there's that little magic moment just before you start bending. And there's that little breath when you hear action and then everybody goes. It's incredible.
Action!
Bending is about being able to manipulate an element to turn it into a weapon or defense.
It's kind of like superpowers, but in our world, it's the 4 elements: water, earth, fire, and air.
With all the forms of bending, we would start with the animated series, and we would take our live-action footage and match that as best as possible. In terms of how we executed it, it's stunts and visual effects really working hand in hand.
The style of the martial arts involved with The Last Airbender is primarily devised from the Chinese martial arts known as wushu. And they each incorporate a different style of wushu.
We needed to make sure that we not only mastered those techniques, but had a thorough understanding of where they began, where they lead, and use that to inform our bending process.
Bending is about energy and balance.
We looked into the mythology of each element. How is the element brought to life? It's what we call qi kong, or qi power, which is really your breathing. Air is where you require your energy to develop the slow breathing, but quick release.
I had a 1-month boot camp where they started teaching me bending. I studied Bagua and Wushu.
Jump around.
It's very open palms, it's very circular movements. The trickiest part is you don't really see air. So what we ended up doing was using as much of the natural elements that were around as possible. So if you're airbending in an environment that has sand or dust or dirt, you're seeing a lot of that move.
For the Fire Nation!
Firebending is a mixture of finding your chi and balance.
It's based on Northern Shaolin Kung Fu.
We took the northern styles of wushu and brought it into the Fire Nation to create the type of motions that they would do. Your energy or your breathing creates a spark, like lighting a match or a flame.
I have a background in martial arts, so being able to mix that with what the fire might look like in a blast or a block, it's really awesome.
With firebending, how do we make it not feel like something is burning and more like they're conjuring this fire? We're looking at how did the animated series fire interact in a 2D world, and then how do we translate that into the 3D world?
Water is life. Water allows life to flourish.
Waterbending is based off Tai Chi, so it's very fluid and smooth like water.
We created what we call slow breathing to relate how your energy breathes slowly and then releases with the weight of the water to move it.
Galandio was amazing to work with. We got to do a lot of her backstory and how that affected her bending.
Martial arts is something that's outside of her everyday training, but she understood and learned.
It's a lot of texture and detail that goes into making the water feel like what you think water should look like when it's bending.
You found a master, haven't you?
Yes, you're looking at her.
Earthbending is a more grounded style of martial arts from the southern provinces of China.
Everything is sharp movements and lots of feet touching the earth. Anytime anybody's bending, we're always trying to continue continuity with connection to the earth, because that's where their power comes from.
It's fast, then slow breathing.
What we want it to feel like in visual effects is everything is heavy, things are hard to move. So as they take these things out of the earth, they're actually compacting the elements that are already in the earth.
Well, as fun as this has been, it's time for the games to end.
The most difficult part was making sure that we were making choices that the audience was going to love, because people care so much about this story.
Is that all you got?
It really was a team effort. When you watch Avatar, you'll believe somebody can bend water or bend fire.
As a fan and as a performer, this show gives me goosebumps. And I think people would just love it.
So, what's next?